Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Inforunners. Today we're going to do Fix My Fleet. I'm your host, Seerthe6th, and today I'm joined by Mr. Algrid, that is down in the corner, and Mr. Execute, who is adjacent to me. Welcome, everybody. So, for all of you who do not know, Fix My Fleet is where we take a group of ships that somebody bought and we tell them if it's the best bang for your buck. We give them our recommendations, what they should melt and whatnot, and what they should leave left over just in case a new ship comes in that would be within their gameplay style or would just give them money in the verse. So, with that being said, we're doing it in house. They're going to be destroying my ships, and I'll be explaining what composition I have set up.
Did you say
Basically,
destroy?
they're
Yeah,
going
he
to be
did say
like,
this.
"Oh, get rid of this one. Put this one in here. Oh, you Seer, what is that?
So-
Why do you have that? You're retarded." Like, you know.
So this was
But
actually
anyway,
Okay,
it's
we've
gonna be
got to
fun.
make. You've now invited us to say that, so we've
Yeah.
got to make sure we do.
I mean, nothing could be worse than my drill instructor in the Marine Corps. So do your worst.
so this was actually a community request because a few people have been
Correct.
asking to look at our fleet, so we thought we'd go through everyone and check it out, and you guys can obviously tell us in the comments what you think about fleets as well. I guess that's going to be a good chance to get some community feedback anyway. All right, so let's kick it off into the browser, and here we are over here.
Have a look at
Seer's
the
fleet.
fleet.
Okay, so before we dive into every little ship, the reason why I chose this composition is because I am one, an industrialist within Star Citizen, and number two, I am combat logistics. So, with that being said, I mean troop transportation. Like it doesn't matter if it's vehicle or troop. Sorry, and yeah, that's what I plan to do. So it involves a lot of daunting tasks overall with combat logistics. So I'll explain as we go through the ships, and then of course, Algrid and Execute will chime in their 2 cents.
Do you want
So
to
we'll
do you want to start at the top and go the way down, or do you want to start at the bottom and go
we
up?
could start at the bottom. Yeah, let's start from the bottom. So obviously, I have the Anvil Pisces. That's to complement the character that you saw. So yeah, I like the Pisces. You have the 4 hard points over the 2, and you have the cool, clean skin. That's about it
Cool,
for
simple.
that one.
Yeah, that one's simple.
So
Now,
the Saber.
can I chime in
Yeah.
on your Pisces? Because my question for you is it the upgrade or is it an actual outright buy? Because you do have a C8 in the carrot already.
It's the outright. So in the future, you're going to be able to decide what ship or snub fighter you're going to want inside, like the Carrick, for example. So I'm just going to completely bypass the Pisces and just put the Pisces expedition in there. That's simple.
Good gift anyway. So it doesn't matter.
And it's giving you that option of C8 regular or C8 expedition.
Yeah, I have both, but I just chose the Pisces because it looks better. Now the Saber. The Saber is the only light fighter I have. The reason why is because I wanted a light fighter to put in one of my buddy's carriers, and I honestly like the Saber out of all the fighters. It's smooth for me, and it has 3 shield generators, and it reminds me of the F-86 Saber combined with the F-18 Hornet because of the V-shaped vertical stabilizers.
Because I'd defaultly go to a like a Banu Defender, but it is very similar. So it's just a personal vanity choice, isn't it? Really, at the end of the day.
Correct.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's move on.
Okay, so the Argo SRV, the actual introduction of combat logistics. The reason why is because you can tow things. It doesn't matter if you can tow ships in atmosphere or not, that are too heavy. Tow ships around a docking port because, let's be honest, bigger ships, they need to conserve fuel. They have a harder time seeing things around them. They have to multitask. So why not have an Argo SRV do that for you, put it into place? And this is actually going to be complementing my Orion, which you'll see in a bit, because they said you'll be able to move the cargo crates. So will be designed to work with it to remove the cargo crates and put in a different ship. The Mantis is currently an LTI token. The reason why I got it is because I really like the suit. I kind of like the Mantis. It does the combat logistics role I play because I'm a support guy in combat as well, so I could use this. I have mixed feelings about it, so I'm going to hold on to it and keep playing around with it until I get my best composition. Now, the Prowler. It reminds me of the V-22. Of course, it's a troop transport, so I had to have it. Stealth gameplay, Gravlev for hovering over land. So this is basically your Spec Ops dropship or your stealth boarding ship for like a bigger ship, like a Bengal carrier, or the retribution of that ship ever makes it in the verse. So that's why I have it.
Quick question: Are you an alien ship fan or no?
This is probably
I'm partial.
I'm partial. I like the Banu Defender.
Right.
I love the Banu Defender. I'm sorry, and I love everything about the Prowler. It's just awesome in my opinion.
I think the Prowler is by far the best of the dropships.
Yep.
And it also looks really cool.
So
Yeah,
does
we'll
this.
have to see.
I'm a big fan of this one myself. So tell us.
Yes, the Redeemer. So you're going to see the Freelancer Mist next, guys. The Freelancer Mist is what I currently have, and I bought a CCU to the Redeemer. So it'll basically my Mist is being an LTI token.
So it'll be one of these
I'm a-
two, is what you're saying. At the
Yeah,
end of the day.
it's currently it's the Mist, but I would love to go to the Redeemer. The reason why I want the Redeemer is because I'm more of a when I do combat again, I'm more of the support guy. So this is a gun. The Redeemer is supposed to be a heavy gunship now, not a dropship, and that's more of my style. The Freelancer Mist is supposed to be a gunship, but let's be real here. It's basically a heavy fighter as of 3.7.2 because
give you that.
you can use it by yourself. You have all these missiles, and you have 4 size 3 guns. It's pretty good at what it does. I mean, you're not really that agile, but as long as you don't let fighters get in your face, you're going to do some pretty good damage to anything below to probably a large size ship. If you're going even against a caterpillar, so like it's a good all round ship. So I still have it for that reason, just in case. Now the Vanguard Harbinger. Oh man, the Vanguards in general are in a bad spot. I wanted the Harbinger because to me, I wanted a heavy fire that could punch bigger ships. Logically, for me, that would be the Harbinger. So I'm gonna hold on to this. I'm gonna buy a CCU for the mole probably because I'm probably gonna get rid of it because the only one I really want truly is the Sentinel, which you will see next.
Yeah. Love-hate relationship for me with the Wardens, so I think you'll be in the same boat from what you've told me.
Yeah. So the reason why I have the Sentinel is because I'm a huge fan of electronic warfare. One of my favorite planes growing up was the Prowler, a really loud electronic warfare Marine Corps and naval aircraft. So I want to do again combat logistics, combat support role. I'm the support guy, so I'll be jamming while people will be fighting and using the EMP charges as such once it's implemented in game. That is why I have the Sentinel, and it's the only Vanguard that I will never get rid of because of the future potential.
And there aren't too many of those EA warfare ships currently available, are there? There's really only the
Theoretically, we have
Vanguard, and I
3
think
electronic warfare ships in terms of disabling, or 4 if you want to count the Stalker. But yeah, but that one, the Stalker's in a bad place, but that's a different story. Now, okay, the Vulcan.
Speaking of bad ships, all right, here we go.
No way. I love the Flying Pickle, even though it's not at all close to Aegis. It's more of an anvil ship.
Man,
by
I think
far.
Argo. Like, I
think-
know I'm interrupting the video here, but look, if I go back to this one, like, you look at that front cab,
and then look at the front cab of the
it's
other one.
so
and they,
similar.
All they need to do is put a sphere, put a circle like somewhere along the spine, and then it's an anvil ship. The
All they
reason
need
why I
to do
have
is
this
cut-
one is, I'm sorry to interrupt, but the reason why I have this one is for small skirmish warfare. I'm not going to bring if I'm doing fleet support and if I have a couple guys, I don't need to bring out the flying toolbox. I don't need to bring out the Starfarer or Starfarer Gemini. I can just use this. It also is still the only ship that can rearm unless you use a carrier, but I don't need to necessarily use a carrier if I'm just in a local system and people just want to stay out and about rather than going back and forth. I'm that support role, so they could just stay within a certain area and not waste time constantly rearming, repairing, and refueling. So that is why I have this ship.
And I know we often say, "Hey, it's under this price. Sell it." I know we often say it's a starter ship. You'll be able to get it cheaply in game. But in terms of being able to, the choice of having that small ship, which is harder to detect, it means you can do those roles without having the big ship, which are people you're fighting and go, "Let's kill that."
Yep.
Yeah.
Less crew support, a lot of things. So the Mercury Star Runner, and I think her name is Sarah, and I'll praise this to the heavens to the last day. She did a fantastic job with this ship. The reason why I overall wanted I have the Mercury Star Runner is because for me, information is power, especially in a game like this. I want to be able to intercept information and sell the data. I like the overall aesthetics and look of the Mercury Star Runner. It'll probably be my main just my main transport / go around because it could be a decent blockade runner. I don't really care about the smuggling that much because it's such a small part of it. The main thing is the cargo running, the fact of hacking gameplay that goes along with it. So once again, it just supports that combat role with the hacking and intercepting to provide my allies that valuable information. So that is why I have this ship.
Okay.
And the one of the most interesting ships in the game because of all of what the community did. So this ship actually got a buff because now it holds 30 SCU. So I chose this because it's a true combat utility. It's a dropship, has the firepower to be a gunship, and can drop off a light armor vehicle, being your Ursa rover, to protect your troops and go into battle. Caveats, sadly, are as the crew requirements being like 7 people total,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that it doesn't have that much of range in terms of hydrogen fuel, so that doesn't give you a lot of loiter time. It's big, bulky, slow, but the reason why I have it is just in case I need to have that flexibility, because I could bring the Prowler, I could bring a M2 if the M2 is going to have troop sheets, because per lore it does, or I could bring something in between, which would be the Valkyrie, because it is a little bit of both. It has
Mm-hmm.
that firepower, it has that armor, it can still carry a vehicle, and it can still carry 20 troops. So that is
And
why I still have the
another
Valkyrie.
one of the downsides with the Valkyrie, but I personally find go against it, is the fact that when you open it up, you actually vent the whole cargo. So if you're in it, so the whole ship. So if you're flying an area where the atmosphere is poor, you open the ship to let the troops out. All the crew are being affected by that.
Are
So
you
If they're AI
yeah?
and they go through their cycles.
Are you a fan of the look of Anvil ships? Just out of curiosity.
Not really.
Okay, interesting. I like the look of that one specifically, but anyway.
That's okay. So the
Genesis.
Genesis Starliner, it's Jared Huckabee's favorite ship in the game, apparently, and it's a good ship for what it seems to do. To me, this is the 737 of Star Citizen, and again, I like troop transport, but I also like pretending to be an airline pilot. I have flight sims and stuff. So within Star Citizen, I will be an airline pilot. I don't want to do specialized uh, troop transport when I carry one high value crew member. No, I'd rather do generalized. So if I want to fly to and fro between Hurston and ArcCorp, or somewhere else, I mean, from Crusader to Terra, then I can do that as such. It with this ship. Not saying I will, but you get the idea. I like this just falls onto I like transporting people, I like transporting things.
Reminds me
So
of.
this will be a moneymaker when I'm not doing combat logistics, when I'm not doing industry, or I'm waiting on something.
It's got,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say. I think it's got similar lines to the Banner Merchantman. I think I
Yeah,
think I
it
can
really does.
see what people that like one may like the other. That's all I was gonna say.
I honestly think that's going to get a facelift soon.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay, the flying toolbox, the
Mm-hmm.
master of its trait being repairing, featuring robotic arms,
the creme de la
featuring
creme.
EVA, and drones. This is your one-stop workshop for all your repair needs. That is why I have it, for if I need to go out and do support role, or if I just want to make some money. And believe it or not, ladies and gents, this could be a Kazovac ship, because you can hold a fighter in the garage and fly away, and you can just do EVA repairs, quote
Yeah,
unquote repairs, inside the garage while you're in warp. So that is why I have it. It'll once again be that combat logistics support, and it'll be a way for me to make money for the AI populace as well. So
yeah.
that is the
And the
thing.
fact, and as you said, the fact that you've got the garage that can take a ship inside, you literally are a retrieval vehicle as opposed to the Vulcan, which is just a refuel emergency repair.
Yeah,
And they
a
make
patch
them
up job.
chalk and cheese. Yeah, and I think it
Okay,
makes them chalk and cheese.
so the fun part, I have all the star lifters, and I have a good reason why. The A2 is a gunship that drops bombs. This is for when shit hits the fan, because one thing my main org is doing is we're base building. So along with base building means if people don't pay us when we build the base, we will be destroying them. This is what that will be used for, because those size 10 Moabs will definitely hurt a base. So that is why I have this, and it's probably the one true gunship I have in terms of loader support via ground. The C2 will be for daily cargo operations. Like right now, I have the cat. Obviously, the C2 will replace is my loaner. Excuse me, my cat is my loaner for my C2, because the C2 is what I'll be using for my main cargo hauling and for just generalized transport of some vehicles if someone asks me to do something and I'm within the comfort of security. So that's just my daily day operations. And the M2 is for military operations, because I will be holding tanks, or if I need to help by fortifying or bring vehicles to the front lines, if this is to offer that scale, or just bring one good vehicle into battle or ballista, whatever it needs to be, I'll be able to drop it off with the ship and get the heck out of Dodge, and probably drop troops off as well. Because let's be real, if the Starfarer Gemini can have troop seats, then there's nothing stopping the Hercules from having troop seats as well. Because again, per lore, it said it did.
Now, I just want to say something really obvious. You own every single Crusader ship, don't you?
Yes, I do. I love Crusader.
They are your favorite, I'm assuming?
Yes, they are 100% my favorite. I love everything about
Noticing a
Crusaders.
pattern.
Carrick.
Their
I mean,
industry.
what do I have to say? The mother of all exploration ships, unless you have an Endeavor. But I mean, let's be.
I thought you were going to say Mother of Dragons. I was like, what the... Sorry.
No.
Go ahead.
But the reason why I have this is because I'm an introvert. So if I want to be alone and just scan down anomalies that I can find, well, if I want to use it to scan down anomalies for my Orion and for the Endeavor later on for heavy science operations and for heavy mining operations, I'll be doing this with the Carrick. Now I'll take the Pisces, go check it out. If I deem it good, I'll drop a pin, bring in the Nautilus, which you'll see next, and I'll pin off the area with the mines. And then when I'm good and ready, I'll come in and bring in the Orion and nom out those freaking asteroids. Boom.
All right.
So
Nautilus.
obviously,
Can I just
Nautilus.
say, before you talk, I hadn't seen this as a modeling game until recently, and I think it's a really sexy looking ship. Big fan.
It's sexy.
Yep, it is indeed. And it can
Okay,
land
so mine-
too, which surprised me.
Yeah. VTOL thrusters, mine layer, minesweeper. It could probably be a heavy defensive ship because, you know, the Polaris is heavily offensive. The Hammerhead's a fine tune of both. And this is defense, straight up defense. So, again, it's that behind the scenes kind of gameplay that I long for. That is why I have the Nautilus. And we'll see how mines go. Blocking trade routes, blocking areas of interest that I don't want people to get near, that kind of stuff. So that is why I have the Nautilus, because I don't believe in getting large large combat ships. So the only one that I have an excuse for. All right. So like I said, when you have the power to create something, you need to have the power to destroy something. So here's the power to create bases that complements the A2 just in case somebody gets on my nerves. But yeah, my primary thing will be base building. It'll be complementing my Orion. It'll be for making refineries, fuel outposts, whatever it needs to be on the ground. And my org being intro, we all have a bunch of pioneers, so we can make well-structured bases. So I'm just one of many, but I'll obviously be using this for my other orgs that I work with as well. So that is why I have a pioneer. And the Endeavor. The Endeavor will support my heavy science operations because you saw that I have a repair ship. I have all of those. As an industrialist, I want to make those Tech 2 components, so class A and B components, those nice ones, so I can sell them, use them for my org, use them for myself. So I need a reverse engineer. So probably the only thing I need is a salvage ship, but I do not like the looks of the reclaimer. So I'll probably just contract one of my org mates who has a reclaimer to use it, and then I'll buy the components off of him because it'll just be easier for me.
Not salty at all
Excuse
about
me.
the reclaimer. Oh,
I'm
dear.
sorry, I don't like the looks.
Yeah, I know. I love it. But
And now,
it's all good.
sorry, last but not least, the Orion, the main moneymaker, the foundation of my whole operation, because in order for me to manufacture, you got to have the resources to do it, which is ore. So that is why I have the Orion. And with it, I'll be able to do every other game loop that I care about in terms of combat logistics, because it'll make my base of operations legitimately. So yeah, sorry, it was a long list, but yeah, that is my fleet in a nutshell. So what do you guys think?
Long list.
It won't be the longest we have to do in
I
this
know.
series, so it's
I know,
okay.
But
Oh my
but
God.
that's the thing.
Agrid, how about it?
Yeah. Well, the first question that I really ask is still going back to your C8, because I know you've got that option to use either, but you're basically almost saying the C8's the ship you want to use straight off because it's so much better than the C8X is the one you want to use straight off because it's so much better than the C8. Do you see a value in having the C8 at all?
If you really don't care about having it's a shuttle. So if you really
So-
don't care about having the extra set of hard points and a cheesy skin, then don't get the C8X.
Yeah, but I'm asking you.
I like the
I
C8X,
think
so
you.
I
Yes,
decided to get it. I
but
just
I'm
like the
asking
looks of it.
you why
Yeah.
did you
So why didn't you get an
why did you
upgrade
spend
instead of getting a second ship? Is
Yeah.
what he's asking.
Because I was at home on Thanksgiving. That is legitimate the only reason why I did not grab it.
so and because you don't have the upgrade, you kind of now stuck with that not being able to use it as a melt token, or
Well, I mean, it theoretically still is an LTI token if I really want something different, but I just like the Pisces overall, the C8X. It looks really clean.
oh yeah,
So
look,
we'll see.
I'm not disputing the C8 being a gorgeous looking ship. I execute will
I
tell
mean,
you, and
the only reason I have is because I was home for Thanksgiving and I totally forgot about swiping up the $20 changeover. That is the
yeah,
only reason why.
right, okay. And the other question is, you've got all this logistic support stuff, but I don't really see a dedicated hospital ship. The only one with any medical facility at all is your Carrack.
Because you forgot the Endeavor,
Yeah.
but because I'm not doing the medical gameplay because other people in my org want to do medical gameplay. So
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
focusing primarily on just combat logistics in terms of troop transport and vehicle transportation, while somebody else will specialize in that career
Yeah.
field.
Well, I didn't forget about the Endeavor. You, because of the components you said you're kitting your Endeavor out with, you didn't mention the hospital, so
Oh, okay,
your
fair
Endeavor
enough.
didn't have it. So that was my reasoning for not adding the Endeavor.
That's fine.
Again,
That's fine.
again, any of those like as I move into what I'm going to say, anything that's kind of under $200, I instantly kind of deem earning game, and the components of the Endeavor fall into that category. So the ships that I would kind of lose are like the everything from the Vulcan down, basically. And when I say lose, I would either have an exit strategy to turn them into something else, and I would say I would ironically suggest a Crucible, sorry, a Reclaimer, but I know you don't like that. So maybe when a medium or large rather than an extra large salvage comes along, that might be something to go into. Or you could just borrow one. But yeah, having
Yeah, I have like so many people in my org who have a
yeah.
reclaimer. So if I want, I could just I'll be like, hey, instead of paying me whatever the salvage we get, just give me a
So
share.
instead of that, maybe what I'm saying is turn those smaller ships into a bigger one, or have an exit strategy to turn them into something bigger. And at the very least, you've got LTI tokens there for when a lot of the medium ships come in, whether they be mining or whatever. So something like the Mole, like you kind of suggested with some of the others.
Yeah.
But I really don't see a lot of value in keeping those ships that are the starters or under $200 because they are really earning game ships. And also when you've got, and I only use this as an example, this is not picking a fight or anything, but the Crucible and the Vulcan, because you have the Crucible, I would then go earn the Vulcan in game. But that's just me, and that's just something that we tend to recommend. Again, your choices with the
We
Warden.
usually recommend it if you're kind of struggling. If I want to be able to go into this area later on, and I want these ships, but I think you're right there.
I'm also talking about the scale of ships. So like something like the Vulcan's just not going to keep its worth, as we always say. Like that when the game comes out, a lot of the ships are going to multiply in worth, and the cheaper ones are just not going to multiply as much as say something like an Orion's going to multiply a lot more than say something like that of Pisces. Is what I was getting at.
And I think the point really when we say that, we're not saying both ships are never valuable.
Yes.
In terms of that, like
Talking
the Vulcan,
dollar value.
in terms of what Seer wants to use the Vulcan for, it is absolutely perfect for the role he wants. But the question is it best value for dollar now?
Yeah.
Could you get something better and then buy that cheaply in game?
Yeah, I absolutely could.
So,
and all my ships are subject to be melted into something else, at least from Valkyrie below. Well, with the exception of the Prowler, because and the Sentinel. The Prowler, the Sentinel, and the Mercury are the only three ships that I really want to keep. Because to me, those are like my pride and joy below. Everything else that you see that is in between the Valkyrie and the CX8 is all able to be melted into something else that makes more sense for me. Because again, this game is still very young with its development. Well, I wouldn't say it's very young, but it's still we don't know the potential of ships we're going to get. We still don't have a mid-tier refueler, and we still don't have the mid-tier salvager.
Yeah.
We are now getting the mid-tier miner. So theoretically, any of these ships that are lower, like the Valkyrie, which is comparable in price to the C2 Hercules, the Valkyrie could get melted at any time to become the earn in game, because I want that mid-tier logistical ship,
Yeah.
or that mid-tier support ship.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
And you mentioned refueling, like even the large refueler we've got at the moment in such a poor place. It's
Don't even get me started on those refueling ships. The flying
but, hey,
refineries now.
Yeah.
it's a flying refinery, but can't mine the stuff that it refined. Like, yeah, but hey,
The-
The salt
but yeah,
Just
in the
to
wounds.
just to highlight that bang for buck, the one that I've been using a lot lately, you gents would know, it would be the Reclaimer and Hammerhead. You know what the prices are in the real world, but then you get into the game and they're actually inverse of that. So that's a really good example of where you're potentially paying a lot more for a ship, and then it gets in the game and it's almost devalued. So
or you look at another example is the Grey Cat little buggy. You know, you pay
Yeah.
what is it, $5 or $10 in real money for it, and yet in game it's
it's
minuscule.
not worth almost anything.
Um,
There's a few like that, but yeah, I'm just giving one or two examples will be enough. But yeah, that's what we're trying to kind of help people with, because I think there's going to be a lot, and I've said this before as well. There's going to be a lot of kind of buyer's remorse down the line. So yeah.
Oh yeah,
and,
definitely.
and I think one of the problems that we still have with a lot of ships, which is I think what you were hinting at, we still don't really know how those individual ships are going to be balanced out. Which ships are going to be really good, which ships aren't going to be good. You know, you might get a ship that at the moment is really good for, or seems to be really good for what you want, but then you get into game and once it's gone the balance pass, and you realise the balance they've done to this ship actually makes it totally opposite of what I was after, and it's no longer valid for me. And in those cases, you really want to find something else. And so I can understand that issue.
Okay, so that is my fleet in a nutshell, and they both gave really good input, of course. And they're not telling me what to do; they're just giving me their recommendations of what they would do. Obviously, for me and for anyone else who wants to get featured on Fix My Fleet, it's your discretion, it's your money, it's your choice at the end of the day. So,
It's
again,
like
we're just giving our
it's
thoughts.
like getting a second opinion. Really, that's what it
Yeah,
is. Just getting
that's
someone
really
to give
all
it
it
a
is.
once over.
And sometimes it's even just getting you to clarify why you actually wanted those ships.
And just
Yeah.
just a bit of a behind the scenes too. We actually do talk to each other about our fleets quite a bit. I know I've talked to
All
both
the
of you.
time.
Yeah, both of you
Hence
extensively,
why
and
I'm called
Osiris.
Crazy Al.
Yeah, yeah. Talking to you about yours
So-
is a headache, but let's just put it that way.
So, yeah, as we wrap this up, overall, for the people who are going to be watching this soon, if you guys have any recommendations, or you can tell me your own thoughts about my fleet, please do. My fleet is ever evolving, so probably by next year there might be a couple additive, there might be a couple things subtractive, depending on how they perform once they're implemented in the verse and they actually have their function. The most important part about ships, they're worthless until they have their in-game function. That is just my opinion. But
True.
anyways, if you guys like this episode, like it. If you don't, then dislike it. You can always bounce the ideas off us on Discord. Link will be in the description. And all of us are usually on our cell phones, so we'll see the Discord and we'll shoot a message back. Feel free to donate if you would further like to support us on Patreon. Only $1, maybe 50 cents. Just a little bit of appreciation, and it helps us further improve our content as a group.
Goes a long
And
way.
yeah, it does. And
And
feel
if
free
you're
to
new
share
to
our
the channel,
content.
New to the channel, please hit that subscribe button if you like what you're seeing, and hit the bell so you find out what else we're doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you would like to, you could check out my channel as well.
Yep.
I have a lot of good content that reflects it back to these two guys, so it's not like I take all the glory. I enjoy doing podcasts with them. That is
It's a
why
group
I'm here.
effort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Done well.
And before we go, I'm gonna plug one of your episodes, which is really good. I think you did the Starfarer. You've done
Oh,
that one
yeah.
yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
You've given it away. It's all good.
Oh, sorry.
Spoiler. All right. Well, again, we'll catch you guys next time. He's been Seer. He's been Algrid. Wait. He's been Seer. He's been Algrid. And I've been Execute. Catch you guys next time.